sometimes too, yeah, especially with Aaron.
So, some other old business, fire hydrants, when you're looking at getting those fixed, the two there,
That's what we're looking at grant monies for. Part of it,
is there a timeline?
as soon as we can get it done.
Did you find the old one that was, the new one that was set and laying around?
Yeah, it's in the shop.
So we could fix one?
We have two that are not working properly.
Right.
But what I'm looking at later on, if we can come up with some funding for that, I would like to put some gate valves in, instead of just fire hydrant, you know, there's nothing in between, so we need to have a gate valve here.
So we got one that they can't even use. Is there a way to get the one that you have laying or put
We
in?
need to find out exactly if the fire department will ever get in touch with us, or if they'll answer our calls, which they haven't, to find out which fire hydrants exactly are not operative at this time. We can go and we can replace that fire hydrant.
As soon as the
One
frost
of
is
them,
out of the
anyway,
ground.
as soon as we get enough thought,
Obviously
where
not
we're
gonna be able to do
comfortable
it until then.
digging around there and finding, you know, where we need to put it. So
Okay.
at that point, when we know the exact locations of those fire hydrants that are not operable, then we will look at getting those replaced. Fire hydrants are only like, what, $3,000 or $4,000 a piece?
That's about right.
And so I'm sure that we could probably work it into the budget where we could
How?
replace.
How old are those fire hydrants? Shirley?
Tammy, do you know how old those
I don't
fire
know
hydrants
how
are?
old they are, but I'm trying to think. I think the one that's out is over by Perkins' place. I'm trying to remember what Mike said that night of that meeting.
I heard one on Third Avenue, but yeah,
Okay.
it'd be nice to have a confirmation on what's
Um,
there. Cause they've been.
So,
Well, I know they tested fire hydrants last week. And the
Mhm.
one on the corner, in front of Jim Perkins's mom and dad's house, on the very corner,
Okay.
they had that flow and it was just that
Well,
large.
no, they'll flow, but what Mike said is the problem is turning them off. When you go to turn them off, if you don't do it right,
Right, then you
it
have
freezes
backup,
afterwards,
Yeah.
then you're gonna have a big problem and
yeah.
it's
Right,
not
because
good.
you'll have that
Yeah,
backup in there.
But you can
those
tell that right
two.
away when you close the fire
Right.
hydrant. If it's
yeah,
doing-
Yeah,
okay.
tell that.
But there's two and I can't remember. I don't know, you might have,
One of them has had
So-
that problem
so you got-
down on the
so you got Lover's
east
Lane,
side,
Lover's
Okay.
Lane and Third and First,
yeah.
3rd Street on First.
Where's the one on Lover's Lane at?
it'll be down by Gene.
There's
It's,
one
corner.
that's,
Right
where
where
Kevin's
house is?
it's
Yeah,
not
that's
that
right
it
across
doesn't
the road.
work, it
Takes-
just doesn't
where it goes around, it's
drain
right
the
around
way,
that
the
bend,
water
right by
off,
the
they
tree.
have to pump it out after they use
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
and it's,
It's not like it
And it's
wouldn't, you
extremely
can't
hard to
turn it on
turn.
and use it a fire.
so that one's extremely hard to turn, but they can use it, but the one on Third doesn't work, and that's the one they, you know,
Then that one should be a priority.
yes.
There's one on East River Road
and
and
all is where we should
cross
put our
street is
one
that?
at.
that I tried to turn when we repaired that main.
3rd Street,
Is it Third?
mm-hmm,
East River and Third?
It was
second, right,
You
Not
said
functional?
First and like
First and
Eighth
Third.
Street.
So
I think it was turned
First
on.
Street and,
I couldn't get the caps off. I think there was water pressure
So
behind
it
it.
says 3rd
And
Street,
I couldn't close it. I couldn't operate at all. I couldn't
Cause
open or
there's one
close
on
it.
each corner.
I couldn't figure out if it was open or closed. And I didn't want a horse on it because that's a liability issue, so.
yeah,
But that's something that I can certainly teach Jeremy how to operate hydrants. It would take half an hour to show him, and you know, he and or I could go around and check them all. But you gotta be careful that you don't blow things up, because that's what a plumbing company did with closing hydrants too fast.
mhm,
Well, that,
Yeah.
yeah,
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 and,
and that spent
Gotta
a
be
lot of
careful.
revenue that we could have
Yeah,
used elsewhere.
mhm.
yeah.
But that's where we're at on fire hydrants right now, is we need to find funding to replace some of the really old ones and put in new ones. And
well,
plus,
I see that, but I think we
replacement.
need to fix the one that's not working.
I think
With what we have.
Aaron's
Yeah.
right. I would jump on that one ASAP.
Yeah.
You're made aware of
You're gonna
it.
make the
Something happens
community-
next month.
You'll put
you
the
haven't
community at
even.
ease.
Well, let me tell you, Tammy, I think that we were aware of it 5 years ago.
Yeah, but.
But now we have a council that cares.
Have one on hand and,
Thing is, every fire hydrant is supposed to have a gate valve about 3 to 6 feet in front of it. So if you have to maintain, well, surely they should.
You can
I know they
isolate it.
should.
Yeah, so you
That
can
was brought
isolate.
up, I brought that up at a
Okay.
council meeting some
Okay.
other time. And I was told that they did not have gate valves on any of them.
Okay. Because
So
if they
there you go.
have, then you can take the fire hydrant apart, and most parts, even from the 1920 fire hydrants, are replaceable.
Mhm.
And so you can fix a lot of the problems.
Right.
But
So my question then, Spencer, if they take that fire hydrant out, replace it with a new one, could that one be rebuilt?
possibly,
Yes, maybe,
right.
depending on the works, some of them.
But you're much better off trying to rebuild and fix the broken one rather than do a dig up and swap.
Okay,
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Do we want to develop a task force for this? Like a couple of the council members kind of spearhead the fire hydrant issue this coming summer?
You would like to do that?
Are you offering?
I would be part of it, yeah. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I think it's a valid concern that we should address.
Yeah, because we have some, we could possibly have some real problems with that, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why
It
I
needs to
brought
be
up,
addressed.
at several council meetings, I think it was last summer I brought it up, about the gate valves and a few other things, because we do need to address that. It could be a potential disaster down the road.
Well, if you would assign a couple of council people, maybe get somebody from the community that would be willing to help and participate.
Well, both David and they said they would take care of the water hydrant thing, the fire hydrant thing, kind of work back and forth and figure
That's
out
fine.
what's, okay?
Yep. You wanna be involved?
Sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say you'd be handy having words.
Okay, so,
Are you
give
on the fire
it to
department?
Aaron.
No,
No.
but I'm just saying that you'll ease some of the community's concerns with other issues if you put forward with what you have on hand.
I agree.
Yeah.
I've got a question, and is it possible to dig up the line, put in a gate valve, leave the old one alone until it blows or goes bad or whatever, and save a lot of money, or is it not gonna save a dime to put in the gate valve without replacing the whole hydrant?
Well, I don't know that we have to replace hydrants.
Well, I'm
We're
just
talking-
saying,
you
if the
can
gate valve
build.
thing, if you have the gate valve, you put the gate valve in, then I'm saying, it sounds like from what he's saying, you have potential to save a whole lot of money, because if you can pop those in without a big deal, then you can save at least a lot of money initially on replacing hydrants that,
Or parts of hydrants.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying, is that a feasible possibility? Are you gonna
You
win
can-
some,
you
on
can-
the overhaul doing that?
You can put a gate valve in on the existing line, and that's where you put it.
Yeah, but I'm
But we
saying.
have to
cost
decide
effective.
where those gate valves need to be, and we're gonna have to, and that's what, another thing we're gonna have to look at. How many, we could put it every 6 fire hydrants, or depending on where the fire hydrant is. We gotta look at a bunch of that stuff. I mean, it's just, gate valves were just a concern to me because having lived in bigger communities and having been involved in the fire department for years and years, and they said, we don't have any gate valves on our hydrants, on our lines at all. So that was a concern to me.
I'm concerned about cost effectiveness, if that could.
Well, so are we. We are too.
The best savings of cost is that if you have a hydrant in a block and you've got a valve on the main at this corner and the valve at main at this corner, but you don't have one in the hydrant leg, you put people out of water for 4 hours and close
Right.
these 2 valves that are already existing, and you don't need to throw in another valve. You can take that fire hydrant apart, fix it, and then turn the valves back on.
Right.
You don't need to add